The wind moved softly through the open valley as the man stood on the porch, the weight of the letter heavier than the revolver at his side, its edges worn thin from being folded and unfolded too many times on the long ride west. And though he had crossed deserts and rivers to claim land and freedom, nothing had prepared him for the quiet gravity of what he now held in his hands, because the dying man's final wish had not been written in anger or greed, but in fear of what would become of the soil he loved and the daughter he could no longer protect. And as the woman beside him stared across the fields that once belonged to her father, her silence said more than any protest ever could, for she knew this land was no longer hers in name, yet still lived in her blood. And when he first arrived with money in his saddlebag and purpose in his eyes, she had expected cruelty, a stranger eager to claim what sickness had stolen. But instead, she saw a man who read the letter twice before speaking, who looked at the land not as profit but as responsibility, and though the condition was simple in words, it carried a lifetime in meaning, because marriage was not a bargain in a place where survival already demanded everything. And days passed with unspoken tension as they worked side by side, mending fences, feeding horses, watching storms roll over the hills like distant wars, learning each other's silences. And slowly the land itself became the judge, revealing that he rose before dawn, not out of habit but respect, that he repaired what was broken without being asked, that he listened when she spoke of her father's dreams for the ranch, and when sickness returned in memory like a shadow at sunset, she realized the condition was never meant as a chain, but as a test, a way for her father to ensure that whoever held the deed would also hold her future with care. And the moment came when the porch fell quiet except for the creaking wood beneath their boots, when the man folded the letter one last time and admitted he would walk away if she wished, because land was worthless if claimed through force of fate alone. And in that moment she saw something rare on the frontier, a man willing to lose everything to do what was right. And so when she spoke, her voice steady but soft, it was not an agreement born of obligation, but of choice. And as the sun dipped low and painted the valley in gold, two strangers bound by circumstance stepped into a future neither had planned, discovering that sometimes the harshest deals hide the gentlest intentions, and sometimes the wildest land teaches hearts how to settle, not by ownership, but by trust.